So, welcome in. Okay, let's go for this. The look doesn't really matter because Kidakami messes it up anyway, so I can't really do anything with the volume until I actually get to the options screen. So we're going to just stick with this. And the same, I don't really need to change anything. As we say, it changes it when I go to Kidakami, so I don't see the point in doing that now. We'll worry about the character's image later. So, yes. Alright, which one is that? Is that the rumoured one or one that you would like to see? No worries. Thank you for coming in at all. It's nice to meet the new people who might enjoy the challenge. Today is tutorial boring day anyway, where we just have to go through the start scene basically, so none of the shiny stuff really starts yet, I don't think. Okay. Prediction one. Where did you two both predict? As in region or starters? Hello, Kika. How are you? I'm happy now that we got rid of Big Ange. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'm kind of excited for this brand new challenge. Actually, I need these as well in case somebody does cash in. We have the cards ready. I have ordered a special deck box for the cards, which should turn up a bit later today, so that when we do the bingo races, shiny hunt races, we can draw the cards from something better than a flimsy bit of cardboard. So, but let's get through tutorial land. It already looks better, doesn't it? Let's be honest. I've done running around the world, but welcome in. It has been going well, I think is the best way. This is the day one of this challenge, though, so the goal is to reset every game and then do lots of interactive shiny hunting with people. So we'll be doing races, bingos, locking me to areas, picking hunts, etc., etc. So there's a plenty to go through. So I'm hoping we can make this a lot of fun for everyone. It is a lot better. Let's put it that way. My own criticism of the Switch 2 is I think it's a bit too big for a handheld. But otherwise it's fantastic. What is going on? You think there'll be a fire flying. Okay. Phoenix, a water still, and a grass poison. Interesting. I would like a real... I'm not really sure what I want, to be honest. The one thing I will say is I've noticed they've been doing a lot of themes with their starters recently. So in here we've got grass dark, which means the dark is better against the ghost form fire type that you face, and so on and so forth. So the secondary typing is usually better. So I think they may try to keep that. Welcome in, Dragon. How are you? I am just kind of excited to do this. I was planning on Mario Kart, but the Discord spoke and they wanted this to start today, so it starts today. Yeah, Thomas Frank will do. He can't do worse. Like that's the thing. Depends on recruitment more than management, I think. Um, yes, hopefully the game doesn't drop frames, but it is so much better now. Uh, like I'm not going to have any sort of level caps at the end game, so um, yeah, that's the thing. We have to remember that I'm just pretty much speed running it. Nice. Have you got any? Have you planned any other games for your Switch 2, or is it just literally the Switch 2 that you've gone with? So you think it may also be? I missed the other bit of that. You think Brazil region? Okay. It would. It does make sense. It's a region most of the southern hemisphere has not been done too much, if we're honest. Okay, so what's the plan for your next challenge? Is it something similar? Um, so you've already got Yakuza. Is that a 0 or an O? 0, I guess, or Z? No, not Z. I don't know my Yakuza stuff. Where's that? Mario Kart is really fun, I will say. I did want to do some of that um, myself, to be honest. I wanted to do. I've been doing the knockout tournament, which I think is brilliant. It's a bit too long, but it is brilliant at the same time. I did not get the camera up for the Switch 2 now. I don't see the point in it. I'm never going to be doing the camera stuff. Uh, that's my personal thing. Like the only thing I think it works really well for is probably Mario Party. It probably works, but otherwise I think it's about it really. Okay, no worries. Well, if you ever need any help planning things, I've mentioned the Forever Lock plenty of times, so I know how to plan if you're doing a Nuzlocke type thing. If you're doing something wacky like this, you can also feel free. Right, so when I can get to the options, I'm going to change the volume down a little bit more, which it should be now, right? Yes. Text speed fast. Fine. Yes, we are doing nicknames. The nickname theme for this month is country. So, yeah. 360 for a camera. Or is that the quality of the camera you're talking about? Again, I'm not tech smart, to say the least. Let's do that. We don't need. We'll definitely switch sound effects right down. Controller rumble off. That's new on here. We'll keep the music up, I think. Right, yeah, I don't care about the cutscenes, to be honest. Yes, okay, so we'll take this off now. So I don't really need that for this game. I just needed it to do the sound. Okay. Yeah, most people I know are just going to try their webcams to start with and see what it looks like before even trying the Nintendo gimmicky one. If it's non-shiny, we can call it that. The nickname theme is purely based around the shiny Pokemon. So that'll be what we're going to be doing with that. Yeah, that's for the shinies. Like the nickname theme is purely for shinies. Because I want them all to have some form of story to a nickname rather than just be randomly picked. Because then we can look back and go, this was the June 2025 bunch, that was July, and so on and so forth. Welcome in, boy from Belgium. How did the shamans go yesterday? I was sort of lurking around because I was doing so much yesterday. It was ridiculous. It was so hard to keep up with anything. Good, good. Right. Julia, Caesar, Julius, even. Right, I've got note stuff to take for this. Caesar the Cerulege. It's not spelt right, but it's a post-it note. It's for me to know, not for everyone else to see. Right. So the main thing is hopefully nobody does go too mad on the redemptions today because I can't really do anything with them, sadly. All welcome and cheerio. How are you today? We are seeing just how good the Switch 2 actually looks now. I think this is probably the best I can make it look, which is already like 10 times better.
Say his name and he appears.
There is our Joe Hendry. Even though Boy from Belgium stole it again. I should have done a poll. I should have done a poll. I am good, thank you. How are you? Are you going to watch today, or I know you can't take part, but I didn't know if you were going to watch. Starter. Nope, that's not tab. Grass. Water. Fire. There's a poll, so you can pick my starter. Why not? Not a prediction of poll today, because haven't got anything to really predict at the moment. The predictions will be used a little bit more once we get going. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, for most of this, is that you know as well as I do, it's just going to be walking around. Once we get the Koraidon, it might be a little bit better. But I don't want to do a prediction yet. Yes. And or is 3% after a chain. Yes, pretty much. I think it should have been something like 20 or something, shouldn't it? I don't know. As I said, the data was getting very complicated after a while. Okay, is this actually playing? This is why I don't want the headphones on. I don't know how long this song goes on for. I actually switched a lot of the older songs off the channel redeems. A little bit lazy of me, to be honest, but okay. I thought about meant your show. I know you can't take part in the show, but I thought you might have gone to watch them as well. Okay. Yeah, there's so much little details about what you can and can't do on them. It's a little bit frustrating, to be honest. How is this poll going? So, Quaxley looks like it's won. Funnily enough, that was what I picked as my starter on my first ever playthrough. So, it's a little bit frustrating. I was just going to go for the speedrunner one. There's two team members I 100% want for this run through, and they are boring. But I want to get my Golduck and my Breloom ready for proper shiny hunting. I don't really mind what else makes the team. Like, we've got a Ceruledge. The other little thing I wasn't completely sure what to do was, should I try to build the living dex or just sort of scam it through home, just transfer mine in. Part of me thinks I'll just transfer it in when between stream to get the shiny charm, but we could go around trying to actually complete the Pokedex as well. Because it doesn't really matter if I have the shiny charm, really. I just need to get through the game. That is the key factor. I don't know if I'll keep the living dex. Brazil for starter, okay. The nickname thing was more for the shinies, but if you want to call the starter Brazil, you can do. Yeah, it isn't completely necessary. I will say I do like the font on the Switch too, but that's because I actually put the bold font on. It actually gives you an option to put bold instead of just the normal fonts. Okay, that didn't click the A. Again, if it gets... yeah, the nickname thing was more actually for the shinies rather than just what we're going to catch, but whatever, we can do both. And as for the living dex, it's more completing the Pokedex, what I'm thinking, completely on stream and then trade the last couple, rather than actually have one completely set up. That's kind of the goal. Yeah, and the other side of, go back to what Dragon said, The shiny charm is not essential. I'm deliberately not going to go and do herba raids unless I do them with stream. These saves will 100% be on stream, with the minor exception on this game. I will make a box of eggs off stream because how long it takes. I won't hatch any eggs. I will just set up the picnic and be done with it. Fill up some boxes of eggs and just do that offline. Everything else will be done online, including sword and shield eggs, whatever we do. I've also added a Masuda one, which is why I'll have to do them, but I can't do that till I get far enough into the games, which is not really a problem. But I'm not going to put that on till I can get further into the games. Maybe we could do something where we get foreign dittos from chat. I don't know who else has played the game in foreign other than probably Neil. I don't know whether Boy from Belgium played the game. Whether it counts, it's just the language you play it in, not where you're from, isn't it? Yes, I believe we did complete the decks. I have quite a lot already. It's just, it might be quite fun if we could sort of work with everyone to bring everything into the game. That's the one I mean. Like Sword and Shield, I'm going to 100% do the Pokedex off camera, move in and out of home because it takes too long to catch everything in that game. It's very weather dependent. So that one is 100% going to be off stream. Legends Arceus, we will build the whole thing on stream because you have to. BDSP will be the same. I'm going to do it off stream, but BDSP is a different animal where we may do some radar hunting if we can learn how to do it properly, but mostly going to be set up for the Arceus. So that's the main thing for BDSP. We're not going to spend much time in that game because it is not very fun for me. I want to keep it on the games people can play along with. BDSP isn't interactive. This game is, and so is Sword and Shield. That's the other. I need to make this note. I'm actually going to do a redeem for hide and seek. That's the one. I can't do it now because we're so far away from hide and seek, or from the area where we do it. But that's going to be one of the other things I'm thinking about adding. So that will be quite good, I think. The screen will have more on it eventually, but until we can get going, we can't have the recents, we can't have the current hunts. We may just keep the bottom as purely recent. The hunt thing was more for when we have the tracker, but we can bounce between that. So yeah, that'll be good. So we're all saying in this game we'll try and catch a living Dex. So that means if somebody happens to have a spare Sprigatito or free Coco, we'll have to do some trading eventually. But that'll be down the line, we'll get there. We're a long way from this one. I've got to make sure this can go online. I did set it up as another child account. So yeah. Let's see. Well, we'll get through all of the tutorial stuff. I can't do trades until I can get to the Pokemon Center because I actually set a save up in the past to do a bit of a challenge to get a surprise trade only Pokedex. It was fun. It was a little bit bonkers. I sort of kept everything. But yeah. We'll make the team with just like catching everything on like Route 1. Hopefully level it up a bit. Yeah, so that'll be the plan. Right, so I don't think you can go online yet. Okay, items. Yeah, I can't go online quite yet. I can get to the boxes, but I gotta go into home before I can label them all. Oh no, boyfriend Belgium, you didn't do something, did you? That sounds like you did something. Let's get the sandwich, the Miraidon stopper. That's how you catch Pokemon nowadays. You use sandwiches. Okay. So that means you've got to feed the dogs and cats now. While they're in the hospital, you can't say they're going to come and do it. Is that what you're saying now? We can't just ignore that anymore. Right. I will say the buttons feel a bit clickier. Okay. I have noticed one other thing I'm not too keen with on the Switch 2, and that is actually where the camera button is. If I'm honest, it's right next to the home button, and I keep pressing it by accident to start trying to do a voice call or do the chat function, which I'm not going to do. It's quite funny, but that's just something that happens in this game. Let's see. Now we can go and get our Lechonk. And now we can just see how much smoother this runs, really, can't we, already? I don't know how good it looks on your end, but for me, even here, it's like 10 times better than what it was before. So that's that. When I was doing some of the other stuff on here, I noticed like it is still much better again on the television, which I can't play it on the television because of space and time. So, but it still just works so much better. Hi, Lechonk. If it comes to like nicknaming just the stuff, well, most of this is just going to go into the boxes anyway, so we don't really need to nickname it all. If we're honest, we just need to catch it all, really. Look at it waggling its tail at us. Let's just throw the Pokeball. We only got 5. We get some more in a minute. Like Nimona is good. She stores our Pokeball addiction. We've also set up our Shiny Dex page. Now, it's empty at the moment, but I'm only going to put in all of the shinies we get in this challenge. And the more that we get, we're hoping to clip everything. And then you can follow along with progress. If you do miss a couple of streams, you can see the new ones we get. It'll mainly get filled in after stream, or between streams, shall we say. But yeah, so we actually have 250 Pokemon cards. Nice, nice. Right, I'm going to catch a couple of things here just to get the decks filled up. As we said, we want to, we're going to do the Pokedex completion online. We're not going to have a living dex. We're just going to try to complete the decks, if that makes sense. That seems to be the sensible way to do this. We only got 10 more of her. There's probably some lurking around in the shadows. I know you don't need to do anything here. You literally catch everything with first ball. And if we can get a couple of levels, that's always good. But my main goal is to do the badges and the Titans. I'm not worried about Team Star. They can just be there to do a bit later. We'll try to speedrun the Team Star. I'm not like level capping myself in the final or anything. I'm literally just going to get to the stage where I unlock Area 0. Because once I unlock Area 0, that's when we can fully explore the whole game. Which feels like it's a long way away right now. That's why I'm going more for a bit of a speedy run. If that makes sense. We also said that we're not desperate for the shiny charm on this game. I did notice that the fletchling that used to get stuck here was still stuck in one of my games. Um, it was quite funny just staring at it, looking at me, just flapping away. But yeah, you can just see just how many more spawns there are. It's really nice, to be honest. But actually, yeah, because I had to go and I had to get to the next stage to go online because I needed more Pokeballs to do the trading. That's why I sort of did the first bit. I think, was that right? Yeah, I still can't go online at the moment. It says I've got the download content in here, so we'll get to that. I'm hoping we can get to Kitakami at some point today. The thing I've also noticed is I find that Quaxley is the worst starter because of the Nemona battle. Only because of the Nemona battle. You get kind of walled because she has the Pawmi as her terror and it's so much stronger than you. Compared to, like, obviously if you're just Quaxley, you're very weak to the electric and it gets the extra boost. It's not like fair, to be honest. We just need to catch a fletchling and we've done this area. Okay, we'll get it in a minute. There's hundreds of fletchling on this map. We've got to just do this little bit. Cutscene galore. It's funny because we did spend like a stream a couple of weeks ago doing this beginning part of the game again, which took up a lot of time. The only difference is we're not putting together a team at the moment. We are just looking to cruise. Nothing we do is too serious, to say the least. So yeah, we're going to fall off a cliff because Nemona didn't want to do it. I don't know why I go and get all the items. I don't really think there's any point. Hello, Lechonk. Right, let's go and do this next chapter. Let's go jump off a cliff and save a dinosaur and give it a sandwich, because that's how we save the day. But you can see just here, like, the fact that you can already see the ruins in the distance is really nice too. Yes, some of the cliffs are a bit boring, but I don't really know what you're meant to do to the cliffs to make them more interesting, if I'm honest. They are, as you say, they are cliffs. What do you expect them to do? So yeah. And we fell off a cliff because something roared. Yeah, well, we also said we're not going to customize until we finished Kitakami's festival. Like, there's no point doing it because it changes you and then you have to redo it all and it's a pain in the ass, to be honest. I just hate having to change it too much. So that's kind of the plan now. But I am looking forward to this challenge. I do think there's going to be a lot we can do. So, with this being something new, like, on paper there's not really any rewards or anything, but we could put the Shiny Hunt races on the Shiny Dex website. Yeah, I've tried it in the past and all it ever wants is, it just says it won't like that or something like that. It doesn't give you any other options, sadly. So this bit is one of the most annoying bits at the start. It's very laggy normally. So let's see how the Switch 2 handles this. It's not really something you can test unless you start a new game, obviously. But usually it just is a bit of a mess. It just sort of gets stuck or something. I don't know whether it will move at a better pace. Now I can still outrun it, so while it's not a laggy mess, it's just 40 is it now? Wow. I know I've heard 30, but I haven't ever tried to count myself. I was at one of the Porygon outbreaks and I saw just insane number of Porygons. So there was that. So we'll start working towards the living dex. If people start trying to cash in stuff, we may stop. But again, we don't really need the shiny charm this early. If we're honest, do we? Shiryu caught the Ponyta. See, I always go for a little explore around here just to catch everything. I don't really know why. It doesn't make any difference. It's probably why it took me so long. Sorry, so long to get a Houndoom. Or Houndour. They were one of my last things to catch. When I played Frizz properly first time. Again, it was more me learning the map, learning what's around. Now, we've already got enough to have a box of Pokemon, which is good. I do know how to make the others turn up, don't worry. But I know if you go in and out of home, it's usually a little bit quicker. Because you just, we want to put together the claim box. So again, we said there is going to be a redeem to claim shiny Pokemon. And that will become available once I can get in and out of home, which I can do now. I am planning to hopefully get to Luxurible area. That's the goal, why I want to more speed run it before we go too over the top with the shiny hunting. So, but the thing is, you can explore so much, get so many items, sell pretty much everything I'm not going to use. I've made one where you can challenge me to an online battle. Even though I've made that, I'm not going to have competitive teams. We're just going to use whatever I've got. We'll put a team, probably my shiny hunting team, together and have a battle. I can probably change some moves around. Like you could maybe pick a type, like if we say have a fire team, I have to go and make a fire team, stuff like that. But that's kind of what I want to try and do with the battles. I don't expect too many, if I'm honest. But I've just put a few things out there that could mean that people are involved in what we do. But the first couple of, the first week especially is going to be quite slow because it's just doing the stories. Because like Sword and Shield's a little bit different because we can get to the DAs very quickly. And I can do DAs 1 in 300, it's not a problem. It's just that this game is good to explore, but I want to try and get to the level where it's easier to catch everything, rather than be stuck. If I ran into a level 40, I don't know if it shiny locks Pokemon higher level or not. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's kind of my thinking with where we're going with this. Like Sword and Shield different. We would have to have 5 badges before we get the shiny charm. So if we can't get the shiny charm until 5 badges in, that's it. Like there's no more to really think about. And that'll be, I think it's like level 50, listen to you. If we want to do that battle as well, it's not that difficult. Like we'll make a team of DA Pokemon to speedrun that game. So we might be doing a gym / story beat, then DAs for a couple of streams. Like I don't think I'm going to get to end game on both Sword and Shield. And that's mainly because I want to not level scale one of the DLC areas in the Isle of Armor. I want to keep them really low level. If you become champion, it scales everything up to level 60, including the wild area, so I don't want both completely locked out. So I might keep Sword as my best unfinished game with the shiny charm, but beat all 8 gyms. And then on the Shield one, be champion, do the Zamazenta storyline, so I can then shiny hunt the Swords of Justice if we do like pick, redeem, shiny, hunt for so long, etc., etc. But I don't see the point in doing both games to the very end. Unlike Sword and Shield, I have to. Because of Area Zero, I need access to it. And so that's kind of why I need to make sure I do Sword and these all the way to the end. Which is why I picked these two to start, or this to start with. Because it would be better if I finish off a Violet save. So it'll be Violet today, Violet tomorrow, and then we start Sword on Monday, which was going to be the original start date, but we should be able to get at least a couple of DAs in on Monday. Like, there's still a chance we can do raids in here. Like, people can redeem points, and I have to stop and go and do the Paldean raid next to me. It won't be challenging for anyone yet, but it can be something we can do. Right, well, that's what we wanted, one of these. This might go on the team for now, to be honest. We do like the fletchling line, it is helpful. Most of the stuff we can get anywhere in the game, can't we? Let's be honest. Right, who do we dump? We may get rid of the tarantula. Let's just... No, not nickname. I don't want a nickname. I want to add this to the party. For... You know what? We'll get rid of you. Do you know if you join the Union Circle, someone on a different game? Yes, they can. It's very difficult to do, but you need to be communicating otherwise. It's the only area you don't appear on the map together, but say you want to go and get Iron Thorns on Scarlet, I will go to the area where Iron Thorns is, and then if you go there as well, they should be spawning, but you won't see me. Any other part of the map other than Area Zero, you see the other human characters, so that's how you get the other person spawns. It's just the Paradox Mons, and of course you cannot get the other legends off somebody else, so that's the only ones you cannot get. So that I did it with someone else. Like, yeah, it is pretty much just you need a little bit of planning to make sure each other know where to go. You probably can shiny hunt in one game, but it's a little bit difficult to do compared to, say, for example, you're in Blueberry and you want to get the Vulpix and the Sandshrew. If you've got both games, they should both spawn relatively comfortably near each other. The same goes for like the fossils and probably Cramorant, Gligar, stuff like that in Kitakami. But it's doable, definitely. But because I have Scarlet and Violet, I shouldn't have a problem on my end. Have you looked? You got the basic NSO, or have you got the one with the N64 and stuff like that too? No, I've only got the basic family plan. I haven't got the N64. I will probably upgrade once both Gale of Darkness and Colosseum are out, and we could do a playthrough on it, but I'm not 100% sure if I will or not. Okay, the individual, yeah, that's quite cheap though for what it is. It's very good money, I think, the individual one for a year compared to considering what you get with it. No, you get what I still, but then I also think you should not pay for just being able to play online with a friend or something. I think that's a bit silly. That's the company's decision to do that. Like when I was on the PS3, the online play was completely free. But I just don't think they should make you pay to play games online. Add-ons, fair enough, pay for them, but just to play a game that's designed to be a multiplayer game with someone else, you have to pay as well on top. Nice. I'm guessing that's sort of like an introductory offer or something. So I think for the year it's something, for the individual ones, like £15 a year, I think it was. I've got the family basic one, and that's like 30. Oh, the coins you've got saved up, that's even better. I probably should look to do that with some of my spare gold next year, because I don't really know what else I'm going to buy. I guess I could save it in case ZA has a DLC. I have a weird theory that ZA will have Switch 2 exclusive DLC, slightly. That's my theory behind it, because it doesn't quite make sense that they're different prices just for better graphics. There's got to be something else in there for me. Now I need to go and get a Psyduck just so I have my damp Pokemon for shiny hunting. I know it's a bit... Yeah, because when you shiny hunt you want something that can stop explosions. So I like Golduck as that option. I know I could get Quagsire and stuff like that, but where are you? There you are. We have a landscape. It actually doesn't look horrendous this time. And you can even see the Pokemon League, which I'm pretty sure you could not see in the basic game. If I'm honest, I can't say for sure. I just feel like you couldn't. But do you think we'll find a shiny today? Like, just a random one? Now, we're not really hunting much. Like, a Gimmeagle's going to be a pain if we do try and build a living dex from scratch, or build a dex from scratch. But we can get around that. Yeah, let's do... I want to get the Coridon really, and then sort of... Do I want to... It's kind of figuring what I want to do really. As we said, we want to get through it quickly. More than anything else, so we can unlock Area 0. But just coming down here, suddenly we've got like a big number of encounters. We can probably continue building our decks up with some of these. We got a little Happini. We don't have many bulls left though. We're going to be a bit careful. I know we're right next to the place where you buy them. But you can see just up here that there's a Gimmighoul chest that I know for a fact I could not see in the game. But now it's just sat there looking at us, which is really nice. In the very top left hand corner there. That's one of the ones that's a bit of a one you wouldn't expect to be somewhere. Like most are around ruins or in watchtowers, but that one's a surprise one. Right, that one will be annoying fletchling shiny. I don't know what it looks like. A Wingull? Where is my static? I swear there was meant to be a static side up there. Okay, we'll go and get this one first. We need you. Hopefully you've got the right ability, and you'll be a very important team member. That's not the right ability, is it? We'll leave you there. You're boring. We'll catch you instead. I think it's not Cloud9 that turns into the right ability. We'll find out probably that I was wrong, but Psyduck's not exactly difficult to catch. But if we just look at the Pokedex here, you can see just how many we've done. Like once we've got the Pavilion, we'll probably start swapping things around. How do you see the Hall of Fame team in Scarlet and Violet? I don't think there actually is a way to see what you've Hall of Famed. It's just if you go on the Pokemon screen. So if you go on the summary, this page should give you a champion, or one of the ribbons should say champion or something like that. That's the only thing I know is an option. But I don't think there's a way to see what you beat the Elite Four and everything with. Because it's difficult to define what... I think it's difficult to define what you consider a champion in this game. Like, is it something that beat Gita, or is it something that beat Nemona? But here comes our Psyduck. This is the right Psyduck. I think this is the right Psyduck. So this will go on the team. I know I've already got a water type, but this is going to be one of the basically survives the whole run through. We will swap and change everything, but for now it's just going to sit in the team. We'll probably just get rid of our Lechonk for now. It's not very helpful. The other thing I probably want to get is the Wooper. We can get an early Rolls as well, which is always nice. But it would be quite good to get the Wooper just. Nice. Is that just to see who the champion is, or does it show you the full Hall of Fame for you? See, like nothing is breaking out. It's crazy just how broken it is early. We've probably got some rewards waiting for us too. I probably shouldn't talk that. We'll sort that out later. We're not too worried about our Rolls. I know it's very powerful, but wait. Where do we go? Now we'll get the Fido. I like Fido. This may come on the team too, but we may do some leveling up first. This is the thing that's going to be the slight problem for our plan to get a full dex is if we catch everything, where do we go next? So there is a quick way to build a living dex, but we'll get to that all in a bit. We don't need to nickname it. Chanpao, Cerulege, Talonflame, your shiny Camerupt, and Lucario, nice. And we do want you, so you can come with us. Eagerly Bath. Was that your first shiny in the run through, or can you remember what your first shiny in this game was? Oh, one actually broke out and put my Pokemon to sleep. Right, so do we try to build the living dex now? Okay, nice. Like Camerupt is a lot easier to see shiny than is a Numel I found. I found one by accident once for just doing the running around method rather than any sort of sandwiches. Oh, nice. I've never had a shiny raid Pokemon. But mind you, I haven't done as many as I probably should have. I have been a little bit lazy. There we go. This is probably also joining the team just for the Nemona battle. Right, so I do know how to sort of... we need to get Slushy again. We probably will, don't worry. It's... Again, it could be something that turns up in a raid early, I think. I don't know for sure. Like, once we get the Miraidon, we can sort of say if people want to redeem, go into a raid, we can do that. But until then, we'll just have to wait. That's the thing. Because otherwise we will end up with a bit of a mess with where we are. Like, I can't do raids at the moment. Like, yes, they're going to be easy, but you never know what you're going to get. We have one Pokeball to catch this, and we're asleep. I forgot that. If we don't catch it, we'll run away. Doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, I've got my last bundle of the random bulk Pokemon cards turning up today, and then I bought myself the charger set for the Switch 2 controllers. I don't really like leaving it docked to charge the controllers. I prefer those sort of stand ones. So I've always used it on the Switch 1. I've ordered a Switch 2 version of it. So that should be here today. And then what I tend to do is I charge my controllers in the morning when I'm doing other things. So they're always max whenever we turn up on stream or do streams with other people or join their sort of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the goal. Right. We can technically do union circles now, which is always going to be open. Like, once we get to the barbecue stuff, we'll be doing some union circles, and I'll probably announce the stream will be a union circle one. Just so everybody has a chance to know, so we can maybe do like, we might rotate between an hour each. It kind of depends who's interested. But I will need to get a ton of BBQ points to unlock all the starters, so there is that I've got a plan for. Right, box. So now do we start cheesing this to get the living decks? To unlock all the boxes. This used to be the way to do it. You've put a Pokemon in each one, and it used to unlock the next one when you come back out. As in you've got the starters for me, or what I mean is I'll be wanting to hunt the shiny hunt the starters as well. So when I can start shiny hunting, I want to get like all of the other starters, but I can't do that until we've got the blueberry point set up. So we're just going to set these boxes up so we can build this living dex while we go. I can't do too much more. So 61, 290. And the starters for this region, yes, that'll be perfect to trade. I wanted to change the name to... It's funny because when you play Sword and Shield, it always resets the names. When you pick a nickname, it's blank. But when you play this game, it doesn't delete anything. And it's really... it's one of those little things that always gets me. So this is kind of how I do my living dexes when I do these when I do these games now. I set the boxes up like so. You unlock the extra boxes by putting a Pokemon in them all. If you're much later into the game and quite happily connected to home, you can do the old put something in box 32 and it should work, or 31, then you should get them all unlocked. But we know we only need 400, so this doesn't take too long. I just got to hope that it shows me their Pokedex entries. Because otherwise I've got to try and remember who is what. So something we can try to do is, as we said, spend some time trying to complete the dexes here. The main goal is probably to over-level Breloom and Golduck. Because at the end of the day, they are my two most important Pokemon for most of this. We'll worry about a raid Pokemon once we get ourselves an Iron Hands. And then I will have to think of a good knockout Pokemon. I usually use Charizard, because you want something that can fly or swim for that, really. As soon as it can fly and swim, it makes it so much easier. If you can't, you'll get a bit frustrated because you have to keep swapping your Pokemon. Right, I can't do the next box, sadly. So we'll do this one. We'll worry about Kitakami in a bit later, I guess. Yeah, so you are... can I do this? Number 27. which should be here. You are number 62, which is right where Diglett is. You 76. So that'll be 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are 59, so that's an easy one to find. You are going to come into the team, probably for Hoppip. You are 16, which makes it there. Diglett is 148, which is not too bad to find. You are 43. This one is a bit annoying. So that's 41, 2, so 43 should be here. That is correct. That is correct. You are wrong. You are 12. What were you? 16. So, well, 12 is that one there, isn't it? What is left to be moved? You are 46, which I think could be here. If it's right, it's there. What about you? No, you're the right one. LeChonk. Okay. Let's go. LeChonk, I think, is number 10, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll catch everything in here, and we'll fill up the dexes the other way. It's pretty simple to do. We'll try to do a few here, as many as we can here, just to level up a bit while we do this. We'll get a ton of these. We'll just get 50, you know, why not? All our money on Pokeballs. Right. No, we've got them ready, so we'll just carry on going. We'll do whatever we see en route. Hello, Palapa. I keep getting distracted. Like, this is why I took ages to get going when I played the game first. We have some more Joe Hendry love. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. So there's your headphone warning. You pick Joe Hendry, you have to deal with clapping. Right. We have LeChonk. We do need a second one, but we'll probably catch Winkalone as we go. Greedent, you can come with us. Or you can go into the box. We'll sort the boxes out after like a little batch of catches. I think that's the best way. So we're also going to load up everything as a VOD for this whole challenge. Like even just this is going to be loaded up on YouTube. We have a VOD channel, and the good news, my proper shiny hunting channel can now have long videos on it, which is something we couldn't do for a long time. One fly. You're usually annoying to catch, so this will be good. So with that one being activated, we will continue probably to put like the short clips, but we can do like a monthly update on there. I think that will be part of the plan, is to do like an update to see just how well we've been doing each month. See, something that I would like to see in future games is you actually being able to pick where they go in to your home decks, like into the box, rather than just there's a box there. Literally place it where you want it perfectly. But it's just absolutely ridiculous to see how clear this looks now when you look at the game compared to what it was. Like even when we were doing the last lot of shiny hunting, like it's crazy just to see the improvements. Right. Have we already got? How many have we got? We might as well get our rewards. We got 20 in the decks already. Oh no, 19. Annoyingly. Who will be number 20 then? I'm not going to do many trainer battles because I don't really need to. I think that's probably it. We'll probably fight this because it'll give us some good XP though. Actually, we could catch it because we need a second one. No, we'll just catch a chance. See, it'll be easier. We'll just knock it out. We can knock it out pretty easily. And we get some good HP. Really? That's like... Oh no, it's a confusion one. Let's go. Don't get confused. Nice. So, is that in a raid or in PLA or just the wild one in Blueberry? Nice, nice. I do like how that one is a nice battle to get through. Nice. Like, we'll be doing that. I think that we plan that Wednesday and Saturdays. Like, the plan is to do 2 days on each game. Pretty much. Yeah, it sort of gets stuck behind the tree, doesn't it, all the time? Hello now. Welcome in. The challenge has started. We got so far, we haven't even got Miraidon yet. We've also decided, just for the fun of this, we're going to try and build the Pokedex in this game as well. Because we don't really need the old shiny charm straight away. Sword and Shield, I will cheese it, just use my home decks, but if we build one from scratch, it also feels like we've accomplished something. We may do it in Sword and in Scarlet as well. So, but I am good though, thank you. How are you? I just can't believe how good like the opening of this game now looks, really. I want to get the Miraidon and then try and do some badges today. But I also want to unlock all of the Pokedexes. So I don't know how far I need to go into Blueberry to unlock the Pokedex. I may need to lose to Lacey. If I lose to Lacey, so what? I don't care. It's a bit like the Crown Tundra. If you lose, it doesn't make a difference. We've made our notes as well. We've got to get a Ceruledge named Julius Caesar. And we're going to add hide and seek to the channel point redemptions, which is one I forgot to add. If you got Blueberry, you should know how that works. If you don't, it's pretty much you get like a machine that sinks you into being a Pokemon, so you can run around the map as a Pokemon. And somebody has to find you. So if you make a union circle, it's really fun. Yeah, good, good. Lots of planning for when you restart. Oh, BRB.
And there we go. Happy day.
You love it when the post turns up in the middle of the stream. I was expecting something to come through the letterbox, but there was a big parcel as well. I had to make them own away, that's what it was. And this isn't why they had to ring the doorbell, there was a bigger parcel I didn't know about. This is why we put you on the team. Yeah, it's the second Switch too. No, it's this. This is the last bundle of the Pokemon cards we ordered. We bought 3 different buyers we tried. So we thought we would try it out, see what this person's selection was. They even gave us code cards, which is quite nice. Considering I don't even play the game. These are just for the game, pretty much. Have they been nice and put the cards the right way round? That looks good. Everything is the right way round. Just what we needed. It is a couple of energy cards, but it's literally one of each, which is fair. I was expecting 5. We got 5. Everything else is just a nice mixture. Yeah, so this will add to the box for the bingo-y stuff really nicely, to be honest. Sadly, I need the box to turn up. I'm going to put them in next. That was the last thing for it. For this game, I feel like I may start it early. I'm not worried about the shiny charm in this game. I want to be able to make sure nothing is locked from me catching, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be sat there going, like, just say for example, like Liam's mentioned Satoddle again. If Satoddle comes up, I don't think you can get it below about level 30. I don't want to be trying to hunt for something that I may not be able to get shiny. I don't quite know how shinies work in this game. I believe in Sword and Shield they are locked to what you can catch, other than DAs. So if you've got no badges, you can't catch anything in the game over level 20. So I think nothing over 20 will be shiny. Welcome in, Luke. How are you doing? I personally don't have a spare cast form at the moment. I don't know if anyone in chat does, but it's one of those annoying ones because it's only in like BDSP, isn't it? That doesn't really help to make it easy. But feel free to jump in here and see whether anyone does have one they can trade. There's a trade section in the Discord. People might have one in there. Like, if I have one, because I think the only place you can really catch it is in Auras, isn't it? So it's a bit difficult to get in this area. So, yeah, so welcome in. If you are interested in our madness of trying to get a shiny Living Form Dex on the Switch too, this is where we're at. So yeah, I think you can also get it in the Trophy Garden in BDSP, but not out in front of your party in the Sword Swish with the ability still go off while fishing. So like the Suction Cup ability, is that what you mean? Kenzo? If so, I know my Inkay has suction cups in X and Y when I do chain fishing, and I usually let it get knocked out and it works fine, no issues, because then you just send out your second Pokemon. But I don't quite get how it... Oh, Storm Drain. No. Storm Drain will only work if it's on the field. 100% only work if it's on the field. Unless there is something that changes for fishing with Storm Drain, I don't know. I really don't know if Storm Drain affects fishing at all. But if anyone... Does anybody play the TCG live game? I doubt these will even work. Okay, and if it's something that does that, then I feel like it shouldn't do any damage. It should still work. If it's something that affects certain things while fishing, it'll be fine. But I can't. Because as I said, that's how suction cups work in the other games. They still work, like nothing changes. To get to get the Cleavor, you need to get something called the Black... something beginning with A that I can't remember. Geodudes and Gravelers can drop them, and there is an in-game mission to get one free, but it's quite a rare item. It sort of looks like an axe, like the top of an axe shape, but it's an item that the Geodudes and Gravelers can drop. So if you just start beating them up, you should start getting some. And it's pretty much the same. Okay. Yeah, so it's not too difficult to get, but just look at this. Like, this was one of the notoriously horrible bits to do at the start of the game. It was just a mess. normally. But look at this, so smooth. Okay, yeah, that's how you get it. It's... Are you trying to do Hisui only run or something? Or just want to try Cleavor? So now we can do this Team Star penny battle. Which is fine, like, or save penny from the evil Team Starers. As we said, the Team Star stuff is going to be the last thing we do, really. Like, I don't really... There's no benefit for shiny hunting to do it until the end. Okay, that's fair enough. Like, I feel bad that I'm going to have to start all of the research tasks again in PLA. Like, on my main save, that's like 2.5, maybe 3 years old. I've got half the Pokedex is completed to shiny hunt, and now I'm going to start a brand new one. But whatever, it's part of the fun of this. And at least all the trainer names will be the same. Like, I always used to use random trainer names. So now I have to... That's the other reason why I want to start fresh. So we can do some of this and just have a new sorted out team. Pretty much. Strudel. Nice, everybody's going back to PLA. It is fun though, PLA from the start. The thing I always think that's quite interesting with PLA is it feels like it takes ages for the first area, and then you can fly through the rest of the story once you've unlocked the second area. It's a very strange game if you're just trying to beat the story. Nice. Shiny Rufflet. And shiny Bravery is, especially the Hisuian Bravery, is lovely. What will be interesting to see is how many of the cutscenes are actually skippable. Okay, that makes sense too. Will it obey you quickly? Because you've got to get certain star ratings if you've transferred it in, or if you transferred it out and transferred it back in after leveling it right up. Now we learn how to do terrestrialization. Okay. It was weird trying to do that game when they wouldn't listen to you, even like relatively low level. But that was back in the Forever Lock days, which was a long, long time ago. So yeah, we're doing pretty well with our collection. I think, what did we say? That'll be 20 now, so we'll get another item. That's it. We'll trade or Union Circle hunt all of the ones that aren't in my game. The only thing I probably won't do is I'm not going to... Well, actually, we will still probably breed some Sprigatitos and Quagsleys and so on. But that'll be something to fill in the living decks later. Yeah, that'll work. But things like the Stuntankies and Stunky Driftblim, they're not in here. So if we do a Union Circle with a Scarlet player, we can then try and do some of that, catching the other stuff. But until I can run around, there's no point. And then, obviously, we can do Area 0. Is that because you're playing on 2 consoles? Just out of interest. Or is it because... Yeah, is that why you're getting it happening a lot? Because I noticed it on my Switch 1 when... I'm going to keep it sort of like a backup DA hunting one, so if... And whenever I load up Sword or Shield, it comes up Virtual Game Card, and it's like I've got the real game in. But I just press start and it works fine, like nothing's wrong. Is that kind of what you're getting? It just sort of pops up to say, or am I guessing that the owner... Okay. It's not too much of a problem. Oh, so you're sharing the games with someone else, are you? Or is that what's happening? I'm not completely sure, like, how it was all working. Because as I say, I haven't re-downloaded the game each time. I'm just saying I haven't re-downloaded it. I just thought the way that you're mentioning that you need to re-download it made it sound like um, you were sharing the online account with somebody else. If that makes sense. Because on here, the Switch 2, nothing has ever shown that for me. But on the Switch 1, it did. But as soon as I press start software, I can log on the internet and do DAs with two switches at once. But I don't want to lock, because I had a spare profile basically. I had a profile I set up just to do DAs on like the backup. I that's probably why I don't. Apart from the DLCs, that's the only stuff I've got. So that's why I'm not seeing it probably. I imagine. Because all my games are physical with the exception of Mario Kart and Stardew Valley, which I didn't even bother re-downloading. I didn't want to be honest. Or anything that I had and apart from Fortnite, but that's a new game on the Switch 2, not an upgrade. So it's different again. But otherwise it's just sort of that's kind of what we did. What I was trying to do. Yeah. Yes, so it's one of those that you'll probably go and try and do it for like an hour and you won't get one if you just run around. Nothing really goes wrong. So you've got free world premieres. Okay, nice, nice. Have you got the Switch 2 as well then, or not? Have you just still got the plain Switch? You may get one from our Saluna hunting, but it can be difficult to get to. But then there's also a general quest, but I can't remember the quest off by heart on which one you need to do to get it. But it's relatively easy. I imagine it's got something to do with Cypher as well, but I can't be sure how you get it. I think the Switch 2, visually it's much better. Mario Kart is a lot of fun, but I will agree to the extent that for a brand new console there isn't that much that came out with it. But it's a difficult one because I think they don't want everyone to be locked out of their new games at the beginning of the cycle of the console. Because if there was a problem like PlayStation had, it may, like, imagine if they said Legends EA was coming out next month on the Switch 2, and how many people couldn't get the Switch 2, for example. Just like that's why I would look at it. Mario Kart, I did see a very funny bug with a streamer yesterday. It's Mario Kart, I will say, is a blast if you're playing with people, but I think it's a very, very empty game if you're playing solo. Definitely, like against a computer, it's just very not interesting to say the least. But that's the way I look at how the Switch has been released. It's just trying to make sure that people can slowly get their hands on the Switch 2 and then them release the big titles. That's probably the best way I would look at it. And I think that's pretty smart in the modern era of gaming. But that's just what I'm thinking. Modern era is a lot different to what we're used to. Like when I got the PS2 back in the day, like I could still play my PS1 games, and that was probably why the PS2 did really well on sales. because it was backwards compatible. But more and more we get games like Nintendo's been quite notoriously good at this over the years. Like when you went to the Game Boy Advance, you had the Game Boy Color and so on and so forth, and then you had the DS could be played on the 3DS. So now the Switch can be on the Switch too. It's the only company that seems to do that. So I like what they've done with that. Like again, the GameCube edition is also extremely underwhelming. But again, I guess they don't want to lock people out of playing it, because you could imagine if you're only giving, like, not everyone could get one, and then if people want to play the GameCube stuff, there's 3 games. One of them's a fighting game, like, if that's not for you, that's fine. One's a fancier racing game, whatever, the F-Zero stuff. Don't have a clue about it. And I've forgotten what the other game is, but they're not the biggest selling ones, are they? So that's the other way of looking at it. There's plenty still to come. That's probably the best way. I don't know enough to answer that properly. If I'm honest. I know that I heard that like Mario Kart 8 was was like a Wii port, wasn't it? But I don't know about the rest. But Nintendo just like to look after theirs, and just like, I know that people will argue the price all they want, and that's what people like to do. But that I don't know enough about the ins and outs of gaming, but I don't know whether it may be something to do with the emulator that they had to put into the game to play it may not have been available to fully install into a Switch one. That's the only thing that probably makes sense in my head. Because you have to remember, they went out their way to be very aggressive to some of the emulator sites, creators, and then they started doing emulators themselves. Like the Virtual Console is a glorified emulator. So they are probably a lot harder to put onto the devices than we think. That's probably the best way to look at it. That's why I think the GameCube one is not on the playing Switch at the moment, or probably ever. And again, it needs a little bit of an appeal to upgrade. Like, you never know, they may put it on there on like the upgraded copy. There's still time, but I can't see it happening because they want to cash in on the GameCube controllers. I personally think the Switch will still be active for a good 3 to 4 years before it stops getting new A titles. Okay. It was just a theory. I don't know enough about. It is also probably their, like, it's their stuff. But if they released it on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, why would people buy the Switch 2 if it was on the Switch? That's the counter to it all. I know it sounds like that's just money grabbing, which part of it is. But let's be honest, they have to do something to have that extra appeal for nostalgia people. It's not just going to be purely about Cyberpunk on the Switch 2. No one cares that Cyberpunk is now on the Switch. If you were going to play Cyberpunk, you would have found a way to play Cyberpunk by now. I am more interested to see whether they actually do some form of port for the 3DS and maybe re-release Black and White Virtual Console. That would be something I'm most interested in. As they've said, there is an extra cord at the top, which is for the camera, but it is the same sort of cord that could have another screen put on it, which is a lot of the theories why the 3DS has never had the upgrade. So that's also on the table. That Pokemon Bank would be nice too. I personally don't think they would make it Pokemon Bank. I think it would be a way to do it straight across. They would probably want to develop it so you can go straight to home instead of going through bank and then into home, because it's less services that they have to put up. But anything that could make you take the Pokemon from the 3DS virtual world to home to these games will be fantastic. That I 100% would love to see. Or just, I know Boy from Belgium's got looking to get this, but there's that Game Boy / Game Boy Advance thing that you can put the real cartridges in, and then you can play it on your computer. I've forgotten what it's called, but it's a real working emulator. It only works with the real cartridges. You can't buy a fake one; it will not work. But you basically put the game onto your PC and you can play it with a little bit of speed up. It's what there was what KBD was using when he was doing Pokemon Yellow. He's got that device, but it's all a legitimate thing. It's only he plays the real cartridges. It's none of this get it elsewhere sort of thing. Like, it's just a way to play them. I would love it if they did that for the DS and 3DS games, or somebody created one, so I could play it on a computer all legally without any shenanigans, which is what that is. The only thing that's a bit manipulative is that it does have like a good speed up on it. If you don't, like, especially with like the grinding bit that you're doing, you could just 2 times it, but it doesn't sound pretty if you don't mess with the sound either. But that's why I think that they went out their way so aggressively at the Citra people, because I think they want to put a 3DS emulator in the Switch 2 in the future. That's my theory. So that was one of the first ones I got taken to as well, the Pokemon Yellow one. But yeah, it's a legitimate thing. It costs like $60, but it's somewhere in Europe you get it, but I can't remember when. But I know Boy from Belgium is getting it, or planning on getting it, because he wants to play with the hardware. But it's good. I think it's a good addition. It definitely pushes people to make sure that they aren't doing anything illegal, shall we say, or risky to their computer if they get downloads elsewhere. That's probably the best wording for it. So we nearly got our Miraidon, which is kind of big. We need the Miraidon more than anything else, because the Miraidon is causing us problems. Then I can look at putting some moves on these, filling out the Pokedexes. As we said, we are going to build the living dex, then why not? It'll be fun. I'm not worried too much about the story, it's still the same. This is why I don't do Let's Plays with the storyline, which is probably why I won't play Colosseum or Gale of Darkness, because you have to read a lot. I'm waiting. My dream scenario for ZA. My dream scenario for ZA is voice acting. If I'm honest, I just want some voice acting. Now, it's just saying that I believe the Pokemon Yellow was the first KBD video or stream that I ended up in as well. I believe. But I was just saying that the device is about $60 and it comes from somewhere in Europe. Basically, you get the device and you have to download a little bit of software. But I don't know exactly how it all works. But it just basically, you plug it in like you do with your camera, your mic. You stick your cartridges and it basically injects your save into your computer. But if you try to use a fake copy, it won't read it flat out. It just won't. It knows how to read fake and real. So that's why it's quite nice, and I would like to see it with the 3DS. Like, I can understand it not having a Switch version completely, and because if you're still having games produced on said console, you should never be allowed to have anything that manipulates the save to another device. But once the console is considered retired, which the 3DS is, shut the eStore and everything, they should do something to try and maintain the importance of those games somewhere. Like same with PlayStation and Xbox and Sega and etc. down the line. So that's kind of what I think. Like, can I actually leave now? No. It would be nice to get the VC for sure, but it would take down Bank. My whole challenge makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know when officially that they're going to close Bank, but if they did close Bank, imagine like there's still people like who like playing the 3DS games. Like there's still like yourself doing your challenge. There's still a lot of people who like to do the shiny hunting in them, and I think that's why they had to keep Bank open. Really. Well, welcome in. How are you today? We are starting this challenge today early. Some people, I put a vote in the Discord and it came up the winner by a long way. Nobody wanted to see me play Mario Kart, so we thought we'd start now. The last thing I saw about Bank maybe closing was I saw a boy from Belgium mention, I think it was him, something about there's like a countdown somewhere or something that maybe either 2027 or 2029, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. So we have started this challenge now, and the idea is to get a shiny living form dex from scratch. Well, thank you for resubbing. I'm not sure what I meant to call you now. Am I calling you Flob, Trainer Lounge, or MFG? Or all of the three? But thank you for resubbing. We are also doing like our brand new run through on this with our new challenge, because I want to build a shiny living form dex from scratch on a new profile, only on stream. So we're going to have to play through everything again on the Switch games only. So yeah, that's our craziness. Yes, it is beautiful now to see just how it all plays. Like, it's just crazy. Like, even when you play your old games, it's difficult to play the old games because you've done everything. So you want to see these sort of bits that were a bit iffy, shall we say, but you can't really look at. Like, we could go to all of the laggy areas, like, and that's fine. But now, do you mean only Pokemon you catch towards it, or are you counting viewers? It's only my ones that will count to the full dex. The viewers are basically, the idea is that when we do our shiny races and everything, people can then try and get their own shinies as well. So I've set up the Shiny Dex website. So the idea will be maybe I can make events and people can redeem what they get in the races. Like, it's a bit difficult when it's one that somebody cashes in on, like the Pokemon card ones, because that's literally quite spontaneous. But if I turn around and said on Saturday we're doing a Pokemon shiny hunt race for 3 hours or something, I will set the event up and people can then redeem it themselves, and whoever gets the most is the winner. Like, there's a little bit of stuff you need to do. So okay, so how far you get without the legends? Okay, oh yeah, because you can do that thing where you sort of throw the Pokeball into the battle, can't you, and jump across before you get Miraidon. Is that kind of what you mean? Well, at the end of the day, the goal is just to try and do some form of interactive shiny hunting with people, and that's why we're doing it like this, I think. Okay, so you're just walking around. That sounds fun. That's how you do the Professor Oak's challenge, isn't it? If you're going to go, that's one of the theories for the Professor Oak's challenge, is not to go into Messagoza. They use that as the first hit stop as such. So because you can catch everything pretty much. I think on paper you can get one of the Swords of Justice. For me, this is kind of just speed running it so I can get the shiny charm eventually. So when we do all the events and unlocking it all. Yes. Are you just playing it, or are you trying to Professor Oak challenge it as well? Because I know you do like your Professor Oak, or I guess it will be Professor Churro, or the other one, challenge to go with your Lavington and stuff. Because I've seen, like, I'm pretty sure that John Stone did something like 360 before the first badge. That was the crazy side of it. Okay, so I've got to go and catch a Ceruledge. That's my next challenge, really. I'm letting viewers pick things we catch as well. I've got my two requests is I want my Golduck and I want my Breloom, and then I can shiny hunt. I don't care. So that'll be the thing. But we're going to be replaying Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, Legends Arceus, Let's Go, and BDSP. Well, just Shining Pearl. So I can have Arceus to get shiny. But everything else, we're going to hope, keyword is hope, turns up in ZA. But it's not starting off. It is and it isn't. Part of it is I want all my Pokemon with the same trainer ID. My main original Living Form Dex is about 26-27% finished. So it's not fully starting over, I don't think. The only things I'm going to take from there is going to be like Manaphy, Eternatus, not Eternatus, Enamorous. You know, the ones that you get from home, because I'm not getting a new home account. But I'm also going to sort of do giveaways so people can claim the old shinies if they want them, which actually is something that you can do if you want. But I forgot what I did it as. Sets it up, forgets what he did. I'm going to have like what I call a spare shiny box per save file, so people can claim the shinies. That if I get duplicates, we've got plenty of duplicates. We've played Legends Arceus for long enough now. So we're also going to add that in. Take that to mute. Where was it? I forgot what we did. Did we keep that in there? Where did it go? So another thing we're doing is gifted subs can get a Pokemon from the box. 10 gifted subs can get a shiny legendary, which is currently only requires a Moltres. So there is that too. No, I'm definitely not doing another home account. I've got enough space to have this one, my current one, and my Living Form non-shiny decks in home. So I've got enough space for it. Once we really get going in this, we can, so say for example, we find the shiny Lechonk, I can move shiny Lechonk from my current shiny living decks. And that becomes one of my spares for this game, but I need to take the one out of my big save and I'm going to put it into this game, and then we've got that one set up for everyone to do claims. That's why the redemption to look at the claim box is so cheap. It's only 100 coins, but it can cost, I think I made it 50,000 coins to claim one, or 5 gifted subs. And that's also why I'm going to carry on doing DAs on other people's streams, or I'll be running 2 consoles on DAs if I don't get 4 people. And then also if we have more than 4 people, I can also run one in the background while we're doing it on stream. If I get the shinies in them, they will be put into those gifted sub ones, because at the end of the day, it is good to give back to everyone who wants to come along for the ride, however bonkers it sounds. Like, we have to remember I did focus quite heavily on making everything I do on streams a challenge of sorts. My first one was just how many shinies can we get in 31 hours in Legends Arceus. 1 hour on each map, rotating every hour, of course. Yeah, the last hour was 1 tour on each map. Made sure I see every corner of every map. The second one was how many shinies can I get from 100 sandwiches. Then we did can we get every dark type Pokemon in a month. Then we did a bit of a race to see how many shinies we could get in DAs in a month. Last month we didn't really do anything. We just sort of bounced between. We did the type lock, different type of challenge, but it was more killing time until we could start this. But we could still maybe do something similar. Like, there's nothing stopping me like doing the violet, the scarlet save as that. Right, do we unlock? We're going to go to Kitakami, but we're not going to do the battles. I think it's probably the best. And remember, we're going to also do those sort of events where we're going to spend maybe a weekend or a month targeting a certain type of Pokemon. So, yeah, I've got a mix. We're going to start with the spares, pretty much. I've got enough spares to cover everything, so I don't need to take anything out of my official one. I can look in a minute. I don't currently have it in this one. I don't want as I'll move everything across between streams. I just couldn't put it in for the first session because of the game we literally started on the English pick your language menu. And because we are on that one. But the idea is that people can check the vault per game. So we probably won't have one in Let's Go because Let's Go is a little bit more difficult because you can't take things into other games and back into Let's Go. And I've never really shiny hunted in there, so I may not do Let's Go too much. My main targets are pretty much anything before Brock. I don't think they're that easy to get in other games. Like, for a fact, Pidgey, Spearow, Weedle, Rattata, I don't think are in any other game I plan on playing properly. Obviously, Caterpie is. No worries, Dragon. Not a problem. I know how frustrating they are to fill out, to be honest. And we are already doing the boring story part today, so don't worry. Yeah, so that's kind of my thinking. Like, I know I may be able to get Rattata through Radar, because we're going to try Radar, but maybe not go heavy on it. So the main targets will be the 3 main games, like Galar, Hisui, and Paldea. Everything else is just to get the ones that are a bit more difficult. Like maybe Pinsir, but it is available in the Shield, I believe. So that lowers that frustration of trying to get that. Yeah, I've never completed Let's Go. That's the problem. I think it looks lovely. I think it's a very good looking game. It's something that should be better to play. I just hate the catching mechanics and the fact you can't use a controller. That's pretty much my main thing I hate about that game. Yeah, I get that as well. Like, it's very frustrating going through the same questions that are completely irrelevant to whether you're good or bad at a job. Like, what's your religion? It doesn't matter what my religion is. Uh, I think they're the most pointless questions in the world, to be honest. Uh, yeah, I get that. But that's what it's for. It was trying to make people do both. Yes, this is what it looks like, Robin. We're about to go out into the world as well, with our challenge officially starting today. And I even shared it in your Discord. Like you said, use it. I did. I just wanted to unlock Kitakami so I can get the Pokedex for Kitakami. Uh, okay. Uh, I remember I tried to work for my local council. I filled out the application, did the whole thing, and then when I turned up, they turned around and said, "Oh, it's only for the summer." I was like, "Okay, well, you say it's 5 days a week, we'll do it." Turn up first day, place one, no public transport to get to, nowhere to park your car, too far to walk. Is there somewhere I can park my car? Just have to hope you can park on a road. Oh, we work 6 days a week. It's like, and all it was shoveling sand off the pier, and it was just like I did my back in on the first day. Uh, I think one of the things that puts it's just, as we say, applications are a pain. Like, I don't think many even bother reading CVs anymore. They look at your age, and they look at um, that's pretty much all they look at. They want young. Technically, we sort of start shiny hunting from the moment we walked in the first area. But I just need to start. I wanted to get the Maridon, so I could move around a bit more. That's mainly why. So theoretically we can start now, but there's no real push. I want to, because of the card part of it, I want to try and unlock Area Zero as well. But if somebody says go and do a raid, or cashes in go and do a raid, we go and do a raid. If they go shiny hunt Pokemon X for a while, it's got to be something I could get, but they can't pick like an Area Zero Pokemon, because you know I can't do it. That's why I need to unlock Area Zero, really. Sword and Shield is slightly different, because we're going to be able to get to the DAs very, very quickly, and sort of cheese that out. Uh, um, you don't have to evolve your age. I know that's what it is. I heard something. I applied at a leading supermarket for a simple part-time job, and they instantly like dismissed me when I've had 17 years experience in customer service. And then I heard from someone else that they're only interested in like college students who they would pay less, pretty much. And with the AI instructions, like um, they give you like this faceless sort of nonsense to fill out. So what would you do out of three things? It's like one of them came back and said you need to learn more about people from other areas, other cultures. And it's like, have you even looked at what I've done in the past? Um, so yeah, they gave me this whole like speech about how I haven't got enough world experience to understand people's different living situations. It was like I literally sit at the pub and talk to people about it. Uh, I actually had a massive rant about the reply I got on LinkedIn. I literally threw everything back at them. They said, one of the things they said was join a sports team so you understand commitment to time. And it's like, or managing time. It's like, I'm the best at managing time. I, I literally run as a clock. If I don't do things in order, I lose track. But thanks for the alert, Robin. Uh, yeah, we can win this battle. It's not a problem. Yeah, they just don't really care. Like, and then they make a big point of if they want to hire people. There's also like this big rumor thing going around that they put applications out to then sell the data of people who's actually applying. I know that's probably a conspiracy theory more than anything else. Um, so, and I've applied, like, I'll be honest, I applied to work for the Royal Mail, and one time they said, "Oh, not this time, but you're like our first one when we want one next time. Just apply. You won't need to fill out the application again." Okay, the job came up again. I filled it in. Here's the test again. Within like an hour of doing the test again, they go, "No, you're not what we're looking for." Uh, Another one was a supermarket phoned me up and goes, "Yeah, we'll put you in for an interview at time X at this place, etc." Turned up, went to speak to someone. It's like, "Oh, we haven't written you down for an interview today." And then it was, bear in mind, this is a job about stacking shelves. They said, "Oh, you'll need to travel another 3 hours for an induction day." I was like, you know what? Um, it's like, I'm pretty sure I know how to stack shelves. Uh, and the other problem is I get very, very stressed out driving. So I wouldn't have been any good on that day. If I had had to drive 2 or 3 hours for this induction, I would have been sat there in a proper mood.
This drink,
So,
I like it.
I know,
thank
it's
you for the
great, right?
hydrate.
Another.
And then I would have just been stressing about the drive home as well. So that's why I don't apply for a driving job either. But most of it is just pure horror stories of them saying they want stuff. Like the only one that I really got like a proper good experience with was a um, it was sort of a job to like help. It was sort of like autistic adults and other disabled people who were just like trying to do a normal life, but just make sure they're having normal lives, if that makes sense. And basically, that was one of the jobs, and I filled out an application online, got an interview like an hour later, and then they turned around and said no an hour after that, which was quite funny, all in one session. But everything was very, at least they said no rather than leave you hanging. A couple of other places have completely ignored you, which has been really, really frustrating. A leading insurance company was like an hour and a half interview, and then they said, listen to this and tell me what you want. And I wasn't quite sure what I was meant to be doing, because it was an interview, not do the job for us. That's what you have to teach me. But yeah, it's just one of them. One nightmare leads to another nightmare with them, really. But that's why we have to try other things to make money. Right. Luckily, when I did do the other job for so long, I very rarely spent much. So I'd saved up comfortably. Because like the goal was to sort of save up to buy flat or house rather than just rent all the time. So money was not really a problem on the other end. But the silly thing was, it was bad circumstances I left, and I got a payout for it as well. So it was even worse, that the fact that they admitted something was wrong on their end and they paid out, but it doesn't stop you not getting something in the future. Growl isn't going to do anything, so we'll just let it use up all of its Mega Drains. Yeah, we'll probably lose a few Pokemon here, it doesn't really matter. I don't really know why I did this battle, to be honest, I didn't need to. So yeah, that's kind of why we are where we are. We just sort of working on things, we'll get things going. it just takes time really in this world. There's no point getting too angry on my end. Like, but they also look at my age quite a lot, and that's what seems to put them off from what I've seen. Like, this can't actually hit it, so we're gonna have to risk this, see if we can poison it. Yeah, I went there just so I could fast travel, but I didn't actually want to stay. Well, I knew that was going to hurt. But luckily it's nearly out of Mega Drains. Well, that didn't do very much, or poison it. Yeah, it's difficult because of the fact that where I had saved money, like the job centre, people won't actually help you. But then, do you need helping is kind of the counter argument to it, if that makes sense. If you've saved money. I don't know. It's just one of those things that life is just going to be annoying that you have to deal with. We keep going. Like, we've tried pushing ourselves into doing more writing, but as you mentioned, AI has taken most other things away, including writing. So that took something else away that we wanted to work on. And yeah, it just feels like AI is destroying normal jobs as such. I can understand skilled stuff, but you go to a supermarket, it's self-scan till this, self-scan till that. No human interaction anywhere. You go to other shops and you'll see one member of staff on. It's better to run a solo business online nowadays than it is to run it in a brick and mortar. And like the chippy is a perfect example of if you get the job, you'll get some hours, but they only seem to open for like 4 or 5 hours as well. So there's that side of jobs as well, where they are all like really restrictive on their hours, which I was actually meant to do something more here, but we could focus on AA for factories and other jobs, but leave the artsy things like writing music. Yes, we're into the Adlands. Right, so I think we've nearly finished it. I'm going to have to use a revive. I wonder what happens if you lose this one. Yeah, so AI is... I don't even think it should be used in the factories, to be honest. I think we need to pretty much just get rid of it completely. If I'm honest, there's no good that can come from it in... I know, like, people will argue the old COVID stuff. Like, we were trying not to do it, but... So, we were just going to try and sort of cheese this, because I don't think it's got many left. I don't really want to lose this battle, but we may do. We'll just revive... you? If I tell you what's cool. Yeah, I get it, like, as we said, like, don't need to tell us which it is, it's just the business itself. Like, every town in the UK has full of them, so don't worry. Don't need to say which one. We may need to do some more healing here. This thing hits a lot harder than I remember, but I think it must be nearly out of Mega Drains, really. But I lowered its speed, so maybe we could get some more done. No, it's still got more. What happens if you lose to Carmine? Probably should have put a flying move on Quaxley. But then the counter argument to a lot of the use of AI is when somebody is brand new to something, it is an option that people can use to a little bit of AI to assist them with something artistic. But it's when big companies start doing it that really causes the problems. I don't think she can hit me anymore. So... okay, well it sounds like it might be fun though. As we say, you don't need to go into too much details about what it is if you just want to keep it to the brand, or not the brand, but the type of business. You don't have to say anything else. I'm not going to call out anywhere where I've technically worked or not worked, but I can call out people that didn't hire me. That's not a problem. That's the best way I will put it. So I would be quite happy to go and work. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to work in like a DVD, Blu-ray or video store, and then that market's obsolete now. Oh, she still has another Pokemon. Great. I thought we were done here. May need to bring back Quaxley as well. But I don't think this can one-shot me. Whatever. Yeah, we might just whittle our way through this one without changing too much. Okay, we may need to use another revive. Who uses all their items here? But yeah, that's the problem with a lot of it. We're all trying to do a lot, and I don't think we... oh, it's quicker than me, and I use quick attack. Yeah, we're all trying to just sort of make it at the moment, and they keep saying that there's like all these new industries, but there isn't. Like they say there's not enough jobs, but they don't make a big point of like one of the things is most people that work in a shop don't really care. Like they're not there to care how good or bad the shop does. They just want money, and that's the reality. That's all we want, is to get paid and nothing else. But they make out that you need to have a big passion about it, like it's the best thing in life. But then when you do care, they'll kick you out if you do something that they've asked you to do that turns out to be wrong. But that's where we sort of leaned into a bit of this. Like, well, for no way am I ever going to really consider this like a full-time giggy. But if we can make some form of not comfortable even just getting by money, that'll be extremely good. But getting by money is not very much. That's talking like 50 to 60-ish. Yeah. Yep, I've done that. I've applied for something and got told not interested in me, not even an interview. And then it reappeared on, well, I use Indeed most of the time. It reappeared on Indeed about an hour or so after they said no. So it's like, well, you could have at least spoken to me about it instead of just going not interested. Like, because at the end of the day, I could sit here every day and go, I can't find a job, I need a job, I got to find a job. Or I can sort of look at it and go, well, I can spend some time each day looking, and after I look for those couple of hours, I need to switch off. Otherwise, I will just drive myself slightly crazy, wondering if I'm going to get something. That's how I have to do it. That's how I feel it's the sensible way to look at it sometimes. Like, it might not be nice, but at least I can relax. But don't worry about that one. Charge isn't going to do much. Okay, we're just going to do this Kieran battle because I want to try and unlock the other area. Yep, and that's also true. Like, nobody wants to explain. Like, I've used my own experience in the shops. When I started in the business I was at, we had 9 checkouts and 4 cash points, usually with 3 open. On the floor, you would have at least 8 to 10 staff members. By the time I left, they would have 1 cash point, 4 checkouts, and I was quite often one of, at best, 2 people on the shop floor. And you were still expected to do the same amount of work as the people when I started. So when I finished, so one of the main reasons why I don't want to go back into that line of work is I ruined my tendons in my wrists and my feet because of I used to do picking orders, and you would scan with a gun, and I kept doing that the wrong way, and it just completely ruined. Or I'd pick the item up trying to find the barcode like this, and that movement has just ripped all the tendons completely, and like I'd have to wear support wrist on my wrists. I could sit and type, no pain at all, uh, but if I did that, I would go to do the work. I'd come home in agony. Like, there were times I would have to stop what I was doing, go to the freezer to find out if there was any free ice, and just stick it in those wrist supports to calm down like the fiery feeling in them. I would walk all day, and then when I would get home, I could barely move my legs because of having to walk nearly 10 kilometers in steel toe caps. And when I said about it, yeah, nice. Hopefully, it's a little bit of cash. I think surprisingly, we're doing pretty. Uh, Nowadays, like it was a couple of years ago when it stopped, but for the most part, it's not really a problem anymore. But as I say, I could sit and type. Like, the job I would quite like to do is not the phone. I hate being on the phone. I don't even talk to my friends on the phone. But you know when you have like the typing support people, if something's not right, and I could do that remotely. That's what I would love to do. But there just doesn't seem to be any of those jobs out there. Like, um, so that'll be good. That's what my main goal is. Like, I always look for that, thinking that would be really good. Because again, we've gone through a stage where they turned around and said working from home is actually smarter than all of the petrol um, that you waste getting to and from a job when you could do it at home on a computer. That's kind of what I want to target, if I'm honest. So I'm going to do this battle, and then I should get the phone call about Blueberry. So that's the next target. Yeah, strangely enough, I think after like the last 2 streams, we may end up getting a second payout at the end of this month, which is ridiculous to get one 2 months after the last one. Um, we had a very, very good month last month, I think. We won't know completely, but I'll try. Like, all of the cards that we bought were purely used from the payout of the last one. And yes, it's not very much, but considering we got affiliate in February and we got a payout at the end, well, for April, from February, so it's February, March, and April's streaming time got us a payout in the end in mid-May, which is slightly crazy to think. It's the other reason why we're quite determined to be like clockwork, because as we say, if you're more clockwork, people know when you're around, so they're going to stick around. If you chop and change your times, people might not understand why you pick different times to be alive. So yeah. Well, as I said, the capture card I've got for the Switch was pretty cheap. The only thing is, it literally goes from dock straight into the laptop. Uh, yeah, we've only been about 4 months affiliate, which is kind of crazy to think with just how much we've done. Even when we started, we were doing a minimum of 5 days. Well, we actually only did like an hour a day to start with, which was even weirder to do. But we were pretty much we stuck with each sort of area. So like the first one we did about 10 or 11 till 12 in the morning, and then we did 12 sort of this sort of time. And we've sort of stuck with this time, which has it's worked quite nicely for us. I've tried a few of the evening streams, and one, I'm usually drowsy in the evenings anyway, and two, it's a lot busier, I find. And because we want to be a bit more flexible with what we do, that is not accurate. Yeah, the follow age thing, I don't quite get how that's working, to be honest. So it could work. It would be. It's a little bit more difficult though. Like it's a bit like how people would do the 3DSs, isn't it? Like, is that what you're thinking of doing? Okay. I don't know how good or bad it'll look. That's like the difficult thing about it, but it could be one that looks really, really nice, but then some people might not like it, if that makes sense. Like, but then it's not necessarily about how good the quality the picture is. It's about how much you're doing, if that makes sense. If your challenge is exciting, that's when, like, as I said, all my streams have been challenge based or to bring viewers into play. Not like we did a little bit of a spell of a let's play through the end of February, and it was like the quietest we were. But if you do something that brings them into the stream to be part of whatever challenge you're doing, that seems to be much more helpful from what I've seen. It was depending on the cam, but looking at getting the same one I used to have. I don't actually know what number my cam is. I should probably look. But yeah, my camera I got for when I used to do video movie reviews, so it's quite an old camera. Could easily get upgraded. The microphone is a snowball because I used to do podcasting, so I didn't need the camera, I just needed a good microphone. We attack this, yeah. That's good then. Like, as long as the more people are involved, the more people will sit there and go, I want to be on the next one. Like I would imagine even like Neil wouldn't have expected the tier list to be like 3 streams of a lot of chatting. When you were doing the tier list ones, you probably thought it would be a little bit quieter when you first started doing it, and then everybody's got ideas, and it just went. It was what 3 days of a tier list. So, and like, but then the other good thing is when Neil's doing the grinding, which would be considered the slightly slower part of the challenge, you're doing that who's chat's favourite Pokemon. So you're already trying to involve chat while you're just doing the bit in the background. Well, that's the best thing is you'll do the first run and you'll use like all the S tier Pokemon in round 1. That would be the funniest thing. So you'll be stuck with all the A tiers. So I remembered, because of the Forever Lock's frustration with the Paradox Mons, that's why it got very, like, I remembered it would be a very good game for cleanup. So let's just say, for simplicity's sake, that you hadn't got round to getting Famfi or Ariados, they suddenly become something that you could get here that can just sort of, oh, I still need that, tick that off, that's an area, that's an area. But there's nothing new in those areas. And because you've got to do so many runs for the Paradox ones, it's crazy. Like, I did try to consider making like the cave itself one and the top area another, but I wasn't completely sure if it would be, because it doesn't show it too much. So it's got to be like, the challenge will be actually being able to build about 18 teams to beat Scarlet and Violet using Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. Right, I just want to unlock this one. Nice, and then you can start the unknown quests as well now. Okay, let's... do I have the second Pokedex? Yes, we do. Nice, nice. Right, let's go back here. Oh god, how do I do this again? How do I do this? That's the button. Right, I like the maps in the perfect direction. Very obsessed with it being like this. Stop the challenge. I refuse to level grind for too long on stream. I will always want battles underleveled. Gordon Show, yep, that Gordon Show is fun, and as we said, the chat's favourite Pokemon works really well. And that's the thing, like, what you need to do is find someone else who wants to do it with you. But that's just how I look at, like, when I was doing the other challenge myself, it was, well, because I wanted to go Switch only, it was amazing just how many you could sort of put together in these games. Like Sword and Shield is also very good for it as well, especially because you can get to the Isle of Armor straight away and they're all lower levels. We can do the starters in a second. I just want to trigger this and see if I can get the Pokedex, because then when we start collecting things, I don't want to lose out the Pokedex entries in the academy, in the Blueberry area. It's the main thing. I'm trying not to. I like to make sure I've unlocked all the Pokedexes when I do Sword and Shield as well, because I know that even though I had got the Shiny Charm in the base game, because I didn't have the Pokemon in the game, it didn't register in the others, which was a bit annoying on my end. But we can do one of those two. We'll do those two. I'll just go and get... I might go and catch like 3 Lechonks or something. That might be easier. Because then I can put another Lechonk in the living dex. No, I don't need to. I can catch an Oinkologne for that, can't I? I don't need to worry about Lechonk. Maybe we'll put the Sprigatito and... no, we won't put the Free Coco on the team. We'll just sort of do the leveling up stuff. Because we probably will get them fully evolved and then we will start... what we can say? Then we can breed them, because we're going to breed them anyway. There's only 10 Pokemon I want to breed in this game, and that is the starters for Shinies and Fione. They're the ones I really want to do, and only those. Scarlet and Violet, no, Sword and Shield's different because it's easier, because you can grab the eggs and do everything. Welcome in, FYF, Hazy, how are you today? We are just starting our brand new challenge, so we're just sort of going through all of the slow stage of this game. The talking stages, tutorials, unlocking the Pokedexes, I hope. I know it sounds weird, but does the job center side of things help with a reference? Because if you've been communicating with the same person, they might be able to be a character reference, or any medical profession. I think you can put like doctors and stuff down. Yeah, like because I have a friend who works in a respected profession, shall we say, and he's offered to be a character reference because of the type of people he works with. So that could also be something you could try. I know I am going to get destroyed in this battle, so I'm not really too worried. And that's what... See, all the work the job centre are doing, that isn't much help. That's what they should be trying to help get you that job, because that's the thing that's probably stopping you everywhere else. Like, they know that you haven't got the reference. They should be pushing to get people who can't get references opportunities. Like, again, back to where I used to work, they actually had they actually had jobs where companies would hire job seeking people to go and get experience for a while, and then afterwards they would sort of push you into where you need to go, and the company would decide whether to keep them, but the company wouldn't have to pay them, the job centre would pay them. That makes sense. So they got the experience that then they could put on. Because from what you said before in the past more, is that most of the opportunities you're being sent to do have been job centre suggestions. That's not how I've read what you've said in the past. So if they know you've been directed by the job centre, then to me that means that they're the ones that should be helping with everything, if that makes sense. Like, it makes it clear that you've come from there, you're trying your hardest to get into work, and then you'll be able to start doing everything. That's how I'm reading it, and that's kind of what I thought their job was to do. So this is something I have noticed on the Switch too, is the first time you try to connect to the internet, it's very slow. Right, let's go. Is that code up then? Let's do these 2 starters. Okay. And I do still love how it's bold text. It's so much nicer. It is so much nicer. Okay. So you know I don't really have too many good Pokemon. Oh, you need this apparently, so you can have that. There's a little Frikoko. I'm assuming that's the same. Now I'll probably do the bonsai because it's a pain to do. But I can catch more if we do build the living decks. But thank you for helping out with the challenge. We can then build our living decks with these. Now the thing is, when we do encounters and everything, and shiny hunting, I can just start catching stuff ready. Yes, we'll put that in the Pokedex. Number 4. And bonsai, because it'd probably be easier to do that myself. Well, welcome back, Mr. Belgium. And thank you for the trades. So you get the appointments, but they don't actually care if they remembered references or not. In their eyes, it's nothing to do with them. See, it's also difficult that they want big references for... the basics way of putting it is, the basic in like starter jobs, sort of just doing shops and stuff. Like, there's no reason why you need a long list of experience to do that. As we say, thank you for these two. We now have two ready. We may put the Sprigatito on, but because we're going to get Cerulege, we don't want to do the other one, do we? We still need to get Breloom. I know it's not you. Don't worry, I know who it was. I'll just say thank you. Don't worry, I'm not... we want to just get that actually to the next evolution. This can go to number 29. That can sit there. We'll keep those there. We'll put this away. Can you breed from free cocoa? Oh, an XP candy. Nice. So we can level something right up. It was hatched in 2022. It's an old free cocoa. We'll put the held item away. Thank you for that. We can probably level something up then. So as I said, we'll leave this in here. Like, you can breed this version of Pokemon, can't you? It doesn't have to have evolved to breed these, does it? Have we got the main Pokedex? No. So I still need to do this Lacy battle. Do we do the Lacy battle and just lose? Let's just put, like... Can't do anything to Lacy. I only want the Pokedex unlocked, really. That's the only thing I want to do, is unlock all three. But there's not much in there. I know it does trigger. It's the same as the Blueberry, same as the Crown Tundra. I just want to see if it's just... I think you get it when you get taken into the terrarium. Because again, if you're doing the Professor Oak's challenge with the DLC, they want you to go to all three of these if you do it a certain way. What I should do is actually see whether I can catch an Alolan Pokemon and start barbecues. No, I can, but it's not much point at the moment. But what I mean is, if we do now do the shiny hunting, we've got 3 maps we can play on, all unlocked, like, so that could help. Like, but the problem is I've got nothing that can hit her. I've got water types for her plus over Minun. I've got a ground type and a poison type for her steel and ground type, and they're going to be level 60-ish. Like, I know I did put together a full guide on level caps for this part of the game. I'll be honest, I was a bit carried away with how far we did. What I might do is I might use the X candy on the Breloom the Shroomish I catch, because I want that Breloom with Spore. And if it's over leveled, as long as I catch it under level 20, it should obey me. But tomorrow we'll we've still got a bit of time today actually. We might try and get Katie done. That'll be an interesting one to do, because we know how buggy that is, that area, when you do the olive trial. So we could try the olive trial. Ooh. Like, let's see. She thinks she's going to lose. She has no idea how bad my team is. Shall we actually do some damage? Yeah. Confuse it. Let's get a confusion. Pop. Go. Look how much damage we did. And it's powering itself up with Lightning Rod to kill me. Lovely. I knew we stood a chance in this battle. But this is like the Elephant Man in Crown Tundra. It's sort of like a bit of a pointless entry level one. And they managed to heal, of course they did. Why not? We got quick attack, we can maybe hit it. Maybe we could do with some mud shots. Imagine I won with this team. imagine the shame they would feel if I was the one that ended their streak. But they're powering one up, so... Oh no, it has Swift as well. So yeah, it's going pretty well. Good tight battle. Almost in it. Let's have a very, very quick look and make sure that Amazon parcel isn't coming earlier. So I ordered the box for the cards. Yeah, so yeah. That's not coming for a couple more hours. I thought, you know what, I'm going to put tomorrow down. And hey presto, it turned up today. As in... So that was fun. That was a good battle. Nuzlocke over. Challenge over. Let's start again. Let's never come back. As I said, this is an entry level one that you can lose and it not really be a problem at the end of the day. So we kind of knew what we were doing with this battle. I only wanted the Pokedex, if I'm honest. So hopefully we can continue seeing. As I said, this is the annoying thing. There's no point picking a costume because it changes it for you as well. So. And now we've got some style, apparently. Can you just give me the Pokedex, please? That's all I want. You still have not given it to me, have you? Let's go into the entrance then. Okay. Into the terrarium we go. So the silly thing is we don't really need to... Well, we may want to complete the game just so we have the additional perks on our Miraidon, I guess. But I think we're going to go and 100% get Katie's battle done. That's something that there's no real excuse why we can't beat Katie. The rest of it will work around. Like, we could catch some stuff en route as well, couldn't we? So yeah, that'll be the plan. I'm not really going to go out there. Like, as I said, we could try to get the Alolan one, but we might as well wait for a bit later. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to be doing a little bit with this challenge. So we've got plenty to work with. I know you can't go much further than getting the barbecue stuff on this map. So... yeah, this area is more difficult. It is still end of game levels. That's the only thing to be careful of. If you're doing this as your Nuzlocke, Kitakami is like, you'll find like level 10 Pokemon, so it's fine. Like if you play it and you're doing all of the Ogre Ponds, when you do the Ogre Ponds, you can actually catch it at level 20. Yeah, most people don't because well, if you're playing it after you've probably completed the core game. But you can get Ogerpon at level 20, which is very, very nice. But you won't beat it at level 20. Just be aware of that. Because you have to do all 3 battles and it will destroy you. Because it terrors into each mask, doesn't it? So, but it would be something that if you're doing the DLC side of things, the Ogerpon could be a carry on 4 of your saves. Or 3 of your saves. You've got 3 masks, hasn't it? I imagine you're going to do all 3 masks. But you can't get the loyal 3 because they will be like level 60 or 70. I think we worked out that they were level 70. Yeah, you can probably beat it comfortably with like a mid-level 30. As long as you put your team together smartly, you'll be fine. But it will be like terror boosted, mask boosted. So it will hit a lot harder than you think it should at level 20. But you get it level 20, so then you could just level it up and use. And the other little star thing to put down for yourself, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet mean that you can swap teams between the Elite Four battles if you're going to allow yourself to do that. So you can build a team for Poppy, build a team for the next one. The forms won't be permanent in home for the Ogre Ponds because they need. I'm pretty sure you need the mask to do it. So that's another little thing to remember. So you can, even if you lose someone, you can easily get a replacement. Nice. The Situate is one of the nice additions to the DLC. Well, not DLC, the game, like the spin-off typings. I would like to see more regional starters other than what we're probably going to get in ZA. Let's see. Did I get the Pokedex? Yes, we did. We've got 2. 2 caught. Nice. Well, good luck with all of these, though. That's the key thing. It's right. We'll go here, and we're going to go and beat up Katie. I got to put a team together for this, haven't I? We've got all our health back. We said we want to keep most of these. We pretty much just want that to evolve. Right, where am I? I always get lost when I land here. It's this way. And I always forget that I can't run fast at the beginning. I always forget that. I will say Sword and Shield even lets you go in and out of the buildings when you're doing the Elite Four, which is a big plus. Scarlet and Violet, you will be locked in the room, so make sure everything is at the level you want them at. If you're going to risk grinding up the whole team, if you're going to swap it between them. Because it's a very difficult level cap at the end. That's for sure. I definitely remember that being really strict. No worries. Let's just get some picnic ingredients. Yeah, we'll keep on going. I bet you... Oh, yeah, that was just sleep. I don't need to sleep. What do we have? Fledgling. Hello, Starly. We'll just catch you because you're right in front of us. You're probably going to go. I think, isn't it quite widely known that the people behind it hate Nuzlocke? From what I remember. They hate how people play it as Nuzlocke. They don't want people to do it that way. They only want them to play their way. And if you're not playing their way, it's not... That's kind of how they want to break it. But it's difficult because you've got the Elite Four and Champion, and you've got Arvin, Clive, Penny, and then Nimona, so the levels are so tight if you're being really strict. When we did our Soul Link, we were a bit loose with it. We tried to be strict on level caps, but at that stage we just sort of said, if everything is at the lowest level when we start, that is fine, even if we bounce all the teams. So we had to get everything up to, I think it was level 58. And we sort of did the outside ones first. They probably did, yeah. So yeah, the Nuzlocks weren't even really people doing for example, what you were doing. They were more the story. They weren't the actual gameplay. That was the key thing that I think a lot of the people behind them all are. The only one that I crazily trying to do is which one is it? It is... I like the bonkersness of Radical Red. But that game is pretty much give yourself all the rare candies and do the hard battles. It's got built-in level caps. And it's so difficult, but it's also so crazy some of the teams you can put together. But like the core-based game, like Nuzlocke, is all fun. Like everyone loves doing them. Like they sort of become more of a staple. But when they're single players, it's like you shouldn't really care how people are playing it solo. It's like if it was competitive Nuzlocke, then maybe I could understand trying to block people out of it. But it doesn't really achieve anything by doing it what they're doing. We should try and get one of the Sunkerns, I guess. Probably get both of them actually. So it's basically fire red, leaf green. That's the game it's built in, but it actually has every single Pokemon in it, right up to, I think they've even put Petrarunt in it now. It's got a built-in randomizer, but each gym leader's got like 6 Pokemon, and they completely counter something you would want to do. You've also got to face most of the Johto leaders as well. Like the first proper boss you have to face is actually Faulkner, and he has like a lightning rod, a Mulga on his team or something crazy like that. Just like automatically the first battle you can't. But then if you use a randomizer and you Nuzlocke it, which is how I tried to do it a lot, some of the things you get are really mixed teams. Like you can get legendaries at the beginning. It's one of them that's really testing, but late game it's so hard. It is. I've never got past Sabrina. That was my best ever run. There's like a double battle that basically breaks you more than anything else, because you've got to be the one after you get the Lapras naturally. You've got to then do a double battle with only 3 of your Pokemon and hope that the person you're with isn't useless, which is usually Brendan. They've got Dynamax raid dens and stuff in it too. But they've also got good items like something called a Pokeball, which can heal your team. As I said, you can get rare candy, so you can just, as soon as you catch, or as soon as you start the game, you can level up your starter to level 12, but you can't, it won't take any more candies as such. So that's good as well. So you don't have to do all the battling. They've got a built-in repel that you get quite early on as well. So the vial thing is designed to help you when you're going through bigger storyline battles, rather than, you can't use it in battle. It's just after a battle you can use it, and it heals everyone 5 times before you have to use it properly. It's nothing like more sinister or that. Boss battles won't let you use items either, and I'm pretty sure, I want to say I'm pretty sure, I think you can have it set as set rather than switching. I think it's sort of default. But it's also, if you're doing it on a virtual console, you can speed up the boring bits. But because it's sort of designed to make you the next boss, most of the trainers are relatively easy to beat unless they're considered a boss, if that makes sense. Like the fossil guys are boss, but all the other Team Rocket grunts before it are just natural levels. But it's definitely fun, definitely testing. If you do it as a randomizer, you'll get some really funky teams, and it's kind of cool. I do like the randomness of it. The chaos involved, it's worth it if you love a challenge, definitely. But I can understand people getting completely turned off by it, because it can be, as I say, if you're doing it as a Nuzlocke, you've got to start again, and the beginning of the game can be a bit boring, because it's like you can randomize your encounters, you can randomize the random trainers, but the boss trainers will not change Pokemon. So, but late game you're facing things like Rayquaza, Mega Rayquazas and Mega Mewtwo's and stuff. It's like, and in like a double battle where you've got to hope the computer isn't stupid. But it's designed to really test you. It's a bit like the Emerald Kaizo one that was going around. So, but it's there. If you ever want to try it, let me know and I'll just send you to the Discord so you can get the proper copy rather than a Google search copy, because some of them are not the safest copies. They try to push you anything like that now. They're pushing people to only get it through the Discord, because did nothing happen from it, but I tried doing the Infinite Fusion one, and the Google one is not a safe download apparently. So yeah, that's a thing. Right, we want to do this battle and then we'll probably end today, because then tomorrow we can really start speed running through this game. Because like we've done all of the tutorials, we've opened up all of the basic stuff, we've done the boring early game stuff. So we get one badge, we're good. Well, welcome back, Dragon. As I say, I don't know if anybody does collect the code cards for or play the TCG live, but I got a couple. Oh no, what doesn't mod like? Okay, that's an interesting one. I didn't know that was a thing. Spreading fakes to stop. No, it wasn't. The Pokemon Company. It's just that everyone's trying to do all of these. You know what it's like on the internet. There's always iffy places to get stuff. Even the rain doesn't break this game anymore. I actually broke this on the Switch one trying to do this challenge. I got stuck in the ball, or in the olive, which was really funny. Yeah, it didn't like your misspelling of like. But I don't know. It's a strange one with it all, because it's difficult, because like you've heard the rumours with how everything goes with the potential the potential of them being able to brick your switches for playing things illegally or adding stuff. Well, I think it's more scaremongering. I don't think there's anything too real about it. Is that sure? Are you feeling a bit down because you're missing the show tonight, or today, or this afternoon? Go over them. Nope. Okay. Nope. Nope. Oh, the olive is still a bit weird. Let's be honest. This olive is still a bit weird. It won't even go over his head. I'll just battle this guy, whatever. He's only got a Venonat. I've faced this guy so much. Yeah. That's what I was asking, if you were going to watch it at all. Earlier. YouTubers misunderstand and legalize twos and don'ts to the console, yeah. I am planning on using it on the Shroomish when we get it, because then I can hopefully really get it up a level ready, so I can get my Breloom ready, and because I need to not evolve it so early. But I can't catch the Shroomish until next time, because I've got to do a bit more story, because it's about level 19ish. But go back to Neil's point, YouTube has been full of misinformation. Let's be honest. The way I look at it was, if you modded a Game Boy at the very beginning, the basic Game Boy, the games you were getting, that was it. Nintendo were never going to do anything to your Game Boy again. But with the Switch and the Switch 2, They're going to produce updates for you to have installed on your console. If you put something on there that breaks the update and isn't compatible, you'll cry that they didn't make a console that worked properly. So it's trying to protect themselves, because at the end of the day, they are still producing stuff software-wise for your console. So if you want to mess around with it and put something in there that can break it, it's your fault. And it's not so much they're going to brick it, it's the update will brick it automatically, not their decision to do. Trying to explain why streaming is advantageous. Experience, nationalities, which jobs still want potential earnings. Then he says YouTubers and ad displaying, yes, introduction of ads, which is just starting to roll out. Yeah, it's difficult to explain it to an older generation, shall we say, because at the end of the day, you are reliant on people coming to watch, whether it's this, YouTube, or anything else. And yes, you're not going to make big money, really. It depends what you consider enough to get by on. If a game comes out that you don't like and is your main one, it's difficult to stay motivated. If you were doing purely Pokemon and you lost a bit of interest in Pokemon, then will your audience still watch you do something else? I know you really did want to do it because I know you love those dance shows. That's the difficult part. Yeah, it's definitely difficult to get, and partners so hard to hit. Like 75 viewers in a at the same time, 3 days in a row or 3 streams in a row. It's gonna be hard to even consider that. The sponsors is a little bit different. You can do sponsors on Stream Elements already. It's just, it's like the thing is, I have to, if I do one, I have to get people to play a game for X amount of time, and then I can get a payout, or you can get a payout, whichever way you want to look at it. But you've also got to stream it for a bit, and if you haven't got the ability to stream phones, which I 100% don't, I can't do it. But it's hoping basically you build a good community and they will help support you. Like we have a streamer that I do their sponsors, play their games, hit some targets, and it's the same as a lot of subs. So it is worth it, but it's a lot of work, and you've got to hope your community are willing to support you. That's the big thing with it. But if you're talking like big brands, it's a lot harder. Like even when I do the writing stuff, like the best I get are questionable gambling sites who want to put an article out. Let's call them that, questionable. So yeah, I think you probably can make enough without being partner, depending on what you consider enough. It all depends on how many people are coming in, how many people are subbing, cheering, etc., etc. There's a lot of extra little bits that can help you in the long run. But at the level we're at now, that's not really a reality, shall we say. 25 hours of streaming, 12 different days, and have an average of 75 all through a single month. It's gone up to a month then, has it? Okay. I thought it was 3 streams, or let's have a look. It's under achievements, isn't it? I know the other two are about right from what I remember, because they're already ticked off on mine. I thought it was a lower number. An average of Over 30 days, yeah. So you have to have at least 8 streams with a minimum of 75 average viewers over 30 days. Thank you, Shirio. I'm trying to make this a big fun challenge. Let's be honest, but this is going to take a little bit longer until we can get going. We need the games a bit more complete. We can announce our races and stuff, and that's when we'll hopefully get the best out of it all. Yeah, because that's because Dorcas is pushing really hard for the partner thing at the moment. Why did I use Peck when I could have used Ember, which might hurt it more and burn it? Fury Color, this thing's doing annoying things to me. So there goes another one. Like, again, we didn't really expect to be winning a lot here, but we might have to break this with a Protect first. But we're pushing ourselves to make sure we do at least 3 hours a day. That's the goal I'm looking for. I would like to maybe push these into a bit longer, depending on the challenges as well that gets put on the table. Depends on what we end up doing as well. So this should be back to not very strong, right? Okay, that is a bit better than what it was. The Spupa, it's doing the damage. Let's just protect again. You're scared to switch over to Switch 2. I just want Scarlet Violet to be there. I want my Pokemon, the OG Switch. I want my Pokemon games in the OG Switch with the Pokemon Home. So I can explain it, but I'm going to send you somewhere to do this. If you're really unsure on what to do with the Switch 2 update, search Austin John on YouTube. He goes through the Switch 2 update slowly, perfectly, and can ease any of your worries. He has gone through it all. Everything is a lot smoother than you think. There is literally one button that does everything. If you want everything on the Switch 2 and nothing on the Switch 1, there's literally one button you'll be pressing to do it. But if you want to feel comfortable, watch Austin John's guide. He will tell you everything you need to know, and you will be fine, trust me. Yeah, Austin John is the best guide YouTuber for Pokemon and Nintendo things out there. There is nobody that I see close to him at the moment. Let's just no, we're pretty much near the end, so we won't do a Trinky Poos. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Welcome back. It's extremely difficult, so I appreciate anyone that does it. Some of the streamers I watched in the past I've had applied numerous times. Yeah. Like, if you go the other side of it, YouTube is probably better. Austin John, let's just put this. You know what? I'm actually going to do this for you because I want you to make sure you go to the right video. I'll put the link to the video in the chat. Because, as I said, like, he went through everything. Like, he asked his viewers what they want. But he does so much for the Pokemon community. It's out of this world how much he keeps everything simple. He doesn't make over-the-top colourful videos. He does what you need to know. Sorry if you hear the beginning of this video, but I'll probably still have the sound on.
What's going on? What up?
Right. This video is the one. Yeah. So that video will take you to the guide to go through everything you need to do, have everything prepared, and just how simple it is. Not a problem. I was worried when I first looked at it, I clicked a button and I actually sent too much across because I still wanted to use my Switch one. But if you don't want to use anything on your Switch one anymore, here, go through it. And it eases any worries, like seeing someone with the reputation he has to say it's easy and fine to do. And that's the best thing we can do. But good luck with it. Hopefully you will enjoy everything you do on your Switch too. Feel free to come along and join in our shiny hunt races and bingos and stuff in the future. We are being very ambitious. Okay, so you only want to do Scarlet and Violet. Are you keeping profiles on both, or is it on a different profile? Your Scarlet and Violet stuff. Right, we'll go and heal up then while we just finish those questions. Because when I did it, the basic one they have does absolutely everything, which is fine. It's easy to send stuff back as well. But it depends how much you've got, really. Is it physical? Is it digital? Digital will take a lot longer because it will try and re-download everything, but you can stop it. The main update will send all of your profiles up if you've got more than one. But again, it doesn't take too long to do. But there, that's the thing. Oh no, we're telling about mass outbreaks. Nice. So, do we have any more rewards? Yes, we do. We have Great Balls. And we're nearly at that one. Nice. Shall we just fix the Pokedex quickly and then we will look to wrap things up. Number 97. And I put it in the wrong boxes. Great. I forgot to move the boxes back. You are 84. Which means you should be that one, I think. 85, 86, yeah. You are 31. That's nice. You go right there. You are 101, but you're not a Dalmatian. So you can go there. Some of these might be wrong, I'll be honest. And you are 38, which should be here. And you're male, so you're not very helpful. Yeah. We probably should start doing the Sprigatito. I don't really need... we want that thing to evolve, actually. We'll get rid of Poor Me. We don't want Poor Me. It's not going to do too much for this run. Probably not the right spot, is it? 26, 25. Yeah, you're probably meant to go there. Sprigatito might be very helpful. Yeah. So, we will save it here. So we're not going to actually do anything else on this save after we finish this stream. And we will start here tomorrow. Okay, well, wrong button. We're back. And look to do as much of this game as possible. Try and get as many of the extra bits done, like especially like the first few gym leaders and everything. So again, we can start the redeems. They are now on the table if you feel like you want to start making the run last longer. Thank you to everyone who came in today, and hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow, but I'll probably see some of you tonight.